think everybody loves Tetris. There's nobody that you would mention Tetris to that does not know what Tetris is. I loved how fast-paced it was. Felt like it was a game.
Everything about the movie like actually appeals to me.
They kept my attention from the beginning till the end.
When we saw it, the emotions we were expressing, they were so big. I was like, there's no way if I see this movie I'll feel the same way. Tetris is about this guy. He's trying to approach his goal in Las Vegas, where he was trying to sell his own game. You're about to reach your goal and then someone just kicks you back. So the character is trying to get, but do you think it's because of his honesty or it's because of
the more
personal
money
interest?
Yep, he wanted to do what was best for his country.
And that's a twist, by the way. The Game Boy scene, man. Oh man,
that was really cool. That was amazing. From the beginning, where he was trying to convince the bank manager to give him more money, the way he talked about Tetris would definitely make anybody interested.
Yeah,
that was genius.
That epiphany moment,
like, you know, light bulb.
I don't know. There's something about this movie right there. Despite all the good things we're saying, I do not like Tetris, man. We saw it, right?
Yeah, we did see it together.
Yeah.
Then we're like, we need to actually do something. Talk about it. I actually enjoyed the movie.
Epic movie, right?
Yeah.
Saw it right after an episode and it's like, we need to cover this. You would sell it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The movie was really good. I loved how fast-paced it was and intense. It felt like it was a game.
Yeah.
It was like it was really like, let me say, they kept my attention from the beginning till the end. I like how they were switching between real life to pixelated game graphics. It was really sweet. It was, honestly. And I did not feel at any time that they strayed too far from the plot. They kept it interesting even when they started doing the whole spy aspect of it all. Yeah, it still felt really good. And I did not feel confused or I think everybody loves Tetris. There's nobody that you would mention Tetris to that does not know what Tetris is.
Yeah, the game.
Yeah. But now seeing the story behind it, you know, everybody's just quick to enjoy, but nobody really knows how it actually came to be. It was not easy. It was a struggle. It was a race.
It was, man. I like how you said it was like a game because it was actually like a game. If you're watching it through, you see, I think it goes from level 1 to 4.
And
there's like game complete at the end. So that gives like a sense of progress, right? Like you're tracking it. Like, okay, level 1, level 2.
It was a game, and I loved it. I enjoyed it.
It was epic, man. Everything about the movie like actually appeals to me. I didn't think it was going to be like a watchable movie because when we saw it, the emotions we were expressing, they were so big. I was like, there's no way if I see this movie I'll feel the same way. I was watching it today actually, and it was really, really nice. I don't know, the way they were moving from the normal characters to being pixelated. It really set me on fire. I was like, that's so nice. And I don't know, but it was so good. Then there was this part where they moved in the car chase, which is like car chase was good. But
I was already invested in the car chase. It was good on its own. The bits where the car was I think hit a truck and the whole pixelation and everything was going on. That was good. Then when they started showing it from the top like a normal Nintendo game,
God's view,
too much. But it was but it was still, it could have done without that. But it still made sense. I still liked it. You know, I did not really think of it too much. But it could have done without that. It was already doing its thing, just being normal.
I agree. I agree. Maybe it might have been too much at that point, Well, it was too much, but I kind of liked it just a bit. It's like, oh, nice,
nice touch
thing to throw in there. But that's the movie. So Tetris is about this guy Hank, who is the most hard-headed person probably.
That guy he's the best salesman.
He's the best salesman, and he's not just a salesman. He's actually a salesman with skills. Like
he's a programmer.
He's a programmer. He's a salesman, and he's trying to make it big for himself and for his family. and he gets onto something. He gets onto this game called Tetris, which he sees at an event in Las Vegas where he was trying to sell his own game. He was trying to sell his own game. And from then on, it's just, the whole movie is just order and chaos, order and chaos. He's trying to approach his goal, and every time he tries to approach it, there's always an obstacle.
There's always an obstacle. Something just comes up and he's just trying to be a good guy. He's just trying to do his thing, do his best. But somehow, something just happens.
Keeps knocking him back.
All the time.
It's like when, I don't want to spoil this, but it's like when John Wick was going up the 220 steps stairs.
When he saw the steps, was like,
oh come on. And you make it up to, you're about to reach your goal, and then someone just kicks you back.
I think when I was in the cinema, when I watched that scene where they pushed him back, when he just kept falling, I was like, no.
same reaction, man. I had the same
reaction. I was like, no way. Do you know how many people he had fought to get to that point?
They hit him down twice.
I was like, no.
Twice.
How is he going to do it now? And the time was already gone. I was like, how is he going to do it now? Just to get to that point, I know how much time he spent to get there. And now he was there. And he just pushed him. Like, how it was sad.
Knocked him down half the stairs. He got up, knocked it down. I was like, hey, you know what? Let's go. But yeah, that's how it felt. So the character is trying to get the license for Tetris, but the people he's dealing with, the Maxwells and
conniving, backstabbing.
Oh my god, they
scams.
They all play him, and his goal is trying to get the license and jumping through various hurdles.
Legally, he's doing the right things.
Yeah.
But these people, they just finding ways to just make more money and not even think of, the other people. And honestly, they were scamming him. They were just doing the whole thing to make more money for themselves. Like everybody that was invested in it, from the CEO of Microsoft, the owner of Microsoft, Andromeda guy, Stein, all of them were just terrible people. Andromeda guy was thinking he was so smart, trying to do the whole thing with the contract, computer games, and but he got knocked down as well. He suffered as well for it. Sometimes honesty, most times, is just like the best thing in every situation.
Wasn't he too honest though? I mean,
he was too honest, but that was because that's the kind of person he was, and he was going into it with this idea of he was a good boy. He was going into it with this idea of this is how it's supposed to be. But most times in the way the world is, it's never always like that.
It's never black and white.
Exactly. Like but then he quickly found out that this was not how it was, and he had to switch and just try and adjust and find a very smart way to handle it. And he got defeated, honestly. He was just lucky.
Yeah.
And that's where his honesty came to play. Because of how honest he was, the Elog guy really wanted to help him.
Yeah.
Even when he shouldn't have, when it was detrimental for him, he still helped him.
But do you think it's because of his honesty, or is because of
the more
personal
money?
interest?
Yep. You see, he wanted to do what was best for his country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a twist, by the way.
Yeah. He wanted to do what was best for his country. But still, he's doing it with somebody he felt he could trust more compared to these other hard-headed, bullshit talking guys. He felt this guy has been honest with him from the beginning. He even helped him get a better deal.
Yeah.
He helped him understand the contract and how they were using them, and so I think honesty was part of it. In my opinion, honesty was part of it.
Yeah, I agree as well. Yes, it's like, okay, let's talk about the twist. So this movie is part game movie, part heist, part politics,
KGB,
part politics. And good thing you mentioned the KGB.
Yeah,
part of this movie is entirely done in Russia. Yeah, so the actual. And this is based on a real life story, actually.
Yeah.
So Hank gets onto Tetris, and then he's trying to get the game rights from the actual creator, who is in Russia.
Alexei,
can't remember his name. Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that about Alexei. He's trying to get it from Andromeda. He's trying to get it from Microsoft, and he's trying to get the rights for handheld games because which is actually one of the best things in the movie. The
Game
Game Boy scene, man. Oh man,
That was really cool.
nostalgia.
That was amazing. And for you to really understand what was going on is this was the Cold War, Russia communist time era where everything was controlled by the government, and the moment you step into Russia, you're being watched from the beginning till the end. It's crazy and scary. You can't really do anything and think that you're actually doing it and nobody's watching or seeing.
Stein warned him, right? Stein from
I was like, just tell him, do you think it's easy to just walk in? Do you think you can just walk into Russia and just do what you want to do? Like, it's not easy. And he did not even know what was going on. But like, I'm just going to use a tourist visa to get in there. Nothing's going to happen.
He thought he could just walk into L-Log, and which is a government agency slash software slash accounting company in Russia. He thought he could just walk in and it's like, guys, I need to get handheld rights, which is for the rights for the Game Boy, and they just give it to him.
An appointment
At all. It's just like, I'm Hank.
So that's how hard-headed he is. Like, he just feels like you know how many times he did that thing. He even walked into, was he when he walked into Nintendo? Yeah. When he went to see Hiroshi. I loved how he spoke to Hiroshi using the game as like a way in. Hiroshi was really interested in listening to what he was saying. He was like, you know what?
He's a fan.
He was like, yeah. I loved that part. You know, it was like amazing.
Yeah, he did it. So when he walked into Game Boy, right, that's where everything really came together for me.
Yeah.
If you remember the guys that Hiroshi Yamauchi referred him to in Seattle, they were doing the Game Boy. And when he walked in, he was like, your cowboy reputation exceeds you. And I'm like, hold up, what does that mean? I went online, I Googled it. And apparently, a cowboy reputation is when people see that they can get things done, albeit sometimes forcefully, by the sheer strength of their talent, drive, and charisma. So Hank just through pure sheer will, even going all the way to Russia to meddle in business with a tourist visa. That's it.
From the beginning, where he was trying to convince the bank manager to give him more money.
Yeah.
When he had already lost money. At that moment, I was like, who is this guy?
Who is this guy? Just selling himself.
The way he talked about Tetris and how he came across it would definitely make anybody interested.
Yeah.
And then he spoke about how he had gotten to the point where he needs the money. That was just good. You know, it was amazing. Then where Hiroshi was like, okay, we would buy the rights of the game from you straight up.
Yeah.
We'll pay you 500K. And it was like, no. So like, he said, partners are what make us great. And then he went on to use Mario. And then he said, he used the games that Nintendo had made to push his idea. Yeah. That's someone that has done his research going into somewhere. In as much as he went in there without any appointment whatsoever, he still went in there.
Not just research though, somebody who is like an actual lover of like someone who's cultured.
Well, you don't even have to be a lover to do your research. You just, if you know you want to get something done.
Other than the research, like the way he cultivated that statement, you know, like they say, you can tell that this dude has played the fuck ton of Nintendo game. He was like, partners are what make us great. And then he was like, that's why Mario has Luigi. That's why Zelda has Link. Yeah. That's why Mike Tyson has whoever is punching out in Punch Out. So it was, there is no way, I don't think anybody listening to that would be like, you know what? Nice one. Let's do this.
And that was how he got the deal. But now he has to now do more stuff to make it work. You know, he has to get more rights and all of that.
Yeah.
So it was that whole race to get that coupled with politics.
Yeah.
You know, spy KGB stuff.
Clandestine shit.
Yeah. All of that.
Yeah.
And still with a lot of empathy and emotion running through all of it. It was really good.
Yeah. And I'm sure everyone in the audience knows Tetris. I played that game as a kid in so many ways on different
platforms.
And it was so addictive. I mean, in this movie, the Russian government was like, it's so addictive. it was being played by the government. It was being played by the government, the government workers across the union for hours a day. They were getting nothing done. And this was when it just launched. Yeah. So to give you some perspective, Alexei created Tetris using only parentheses. He did not even have a graphics card. Yes.
That was genius.
That's elite type. I don't even know how he did it. I'm not even going to try and understand the mechanics. But he did that, and then him and his team, they found a way to make it IBM compatible. Yeah. And before you know, it spread like wildfire.
That's just making do with what you have and not complaining or looking for something better before you make the move or execute the idea. That was simply what he did. It was like he saw the blocks and everything while he was working home one day from work, I think, and then he said to create his own
epiphany moment,
like light bulb.
Exactly.
And he just, with the parentheses, I was like, this is genius.
It's freaking Did you ever,
they had to transfer the games to floppy disk. Did you ever make use of floppy disks?
I did, yeah.
Ah, nice.
My dad still has a bunch of them.
I remember installing a game floppy disk on a computer then. I've forgotten the name of the game, but it was a really good one. Like, floppy disk, very slow memory.
But it worked back
Look how far the world has come, bro.
We've gone all, like, you don't even need a disc anymore. I mean, we got PS5 digital edition.
Just download stuff.
Oh, man.
It's crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's epic, man. The way Hank, I don't know, there's something about this movie, right, that I do not like. Despite all the good things we're saying, there's one thing I don't like. It's the same thing we said in the beginning. Hank is such a good guy. So this movie tries its best to create a full split, a full division between the good guys and bad guys. So we have Hank and Alexei. They're the good guys. And everybody else is like black. There's like white and black. And I don't know, it feels a bit too one-dimensional. But then on rewatching it, I was like, I felt the scene where he was when he lost everything and was smashing the phone, and the way he spoke to his daughter. I felt, okay, this is kind of like, he's still a good guy, but he's about to get dark. He's pushed himself to that point, and it still reminded me of that question I was asking you a few episodes back, like, when does too much progress become bad? Yeah. Everything he's trying to do, and he says this to his wife, everything he's trying to do is for a better life, but it's like, they have a good life already, right?
A good life.
Yeah, I mean, did you feel that way? Like, it was so different.
That's an ambitious person. Most people would fully settle for some specific type of life, but there are some certain people that know that there is more to it than this, But the thing now is, you now get to where you feel is more to it than this, and then you still want more. This just goes to show that somehow, like, the human wants is just insatiable. You find yourself wanting more and more and more and more. Yeah. And at what cost?
At what cost?
At what cost? At what point would you feel like, I'm okay where I am and this is good enough?
Yeah.
But that's just people with now their different reasonings of what is good enough to live with.
Yeah.
And then there's people that just want to just keep getting more and more just for the fun of it. And they don't even know what it's costing them, and they don't even know when they're going to stop. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's everybody and how they think and how they reason.
Did you get the director for the movie?
It was Bird, John S. Bird.
John S. Bird.
I haven't really seen any other thing that he has done.
Same, never heard of him.
But he did a good job with Tetris. So.
He did, and Taron Egerton sold the role of Hank. Now, there's something funny. I was going through the IMDb page, and apparently Hank and Alexei, they were consulted, as per usual. I expect them to be consulted for this type of movie.
Nice.
They were consulted for the movie, and they tried their best to, try and make everything accurate and stuff. But then some things just didn't work out. They said it was basically a movie. It's based on what happened in real life, but it's so far-fetched, especially the car chase scene. They were so particular about the car chase scene.
That was never going to happen. That didn't happen.
It didn't happen, yeah. So that's just Hollywood for you, right? But I feel it's someone is making this movie, and he has to tell it the way he wants to tell it. You know, it can't be like word for word. Oh, you did it this way. I'm going to do it that
it's
way.
why it's why the books, you know, they will just look at the book and just pick what's important and then just go at it.
Movie size story, you know, or like taking someone's biography and making it to a movie size, you know, so, or making it exciting, because nobody wants to sit down through the entire board. I'm sure it wasn't even quarter way as exciting as the movie.
Probably.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I even think it would have been scarier than
that, yeah.
I felt it would have been scarier than that. They made it very, you know, jiggy and, you know, playful.
Happy air guitar scene and whatnot.
Yeah, you know, the soundtrack and everything, just making it very, very beautiful. But I felt it was actually scarier than that. It was colder than that.
It had to be. Speaking of the soundtrack,
amazing.
Man, that's one thing.
It was so good.
It was so good, man.
It was just like the Mario soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. Was good.
Whoever was like the sound designer for this movie needs an award. Like, yeah, obviously it's like songs you know, but it was epic, man.
Yeah, well curated.
Yeah.
Amazingly done. Then there was this scene about how the KGB girl, Sasha, the way the translator saw the way she got his attention. Yeah. Everybody was just like, translator. And she was just like, how did she even come out? She just... Salutations.
Do you want some sukkah?
I was like, you know, sometimes you should just know how to sell yourself.
Yeah. There's a lot of selling in this movie.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of things you can pick out of it. Try as much as possible to be different. You know, just don't be normal like everybody else. Everybody was just like, oh, translation services. But when she spoke, he was like, what? You know, that's the kind of reaction you should get when you want to really get some stuff done. You know, when you really want to get someone's attention. That's how it's supposed to be.
He was shocked out.
He was shocked. Yeah, I was like, what?
Are you in need of sukkah? She defined what sukkah. I can't define it myself right now. I haven't heard that word before, have you?
Oh, I have.
Yeah, sukkah.
Yeah.
As in SUCCOR.
Yeah.
That's so weird, man. Now that we're talking about scenes, we might as well just dive into key scenes. Do you have any rewatchable scenes?
That was one.
Yeah.
It was almost everything. It was the scene where he was talking to the bank manager, the scene where he was talking to Hiroshi at Nintendo. It was a car chase scene. It was a scene where the car chase scene. What else? What was his name? Kevin, the Microsoft CEO guy. What was his last name?
Maxwell.
Maxwell. Was like, when you called him Kevin, he was like, it's Mr. Maxwell to you, sir.
It's Mr. Maxwell to you, sir. I have that under my like.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, I have that under my.
He was annoying. He did his job well.
Yeah, it's Mr. Maxwell.
And then the scene where everybody was at Airlog trying to get the rights. The very first day where Stan was there, Kevin was there, and Hank was there. The way they will come to Hank and get information, and they will use it, you know, with Kevin, against Kevin and Stein. And it was so cool, the way they just get information. They walk out, they just kept leaving him in the cliff. I was just like, where are they going to? Where are they going? It was like, you guys are the kings of cliffhangers.
That's so quotable.
That was like one of my favorite scenes as well. I also loved when he met the Game Boy. That's what I'm gonna say. He met the Game Boy, and he was stunned. Like, it was so geeky.
I was stunned, man. I was freaking stunned. The way they positioned it, the product display, man, was like, oh my god, this is heaven.
Like, most geeks would see that and just be like, oh, the original.
Do you remember your first Game Boy?
I never had a Game Boy, but I did play a lot of Game Boys. I did play. Man. Like, you had people that had the Game Boy, play Game Boy, and I think I had one time. I think the issue was batteries or something. I can't really remember, and the games, you have to get your cartridges and all of that. So just the whole process of it. I was not really like, but I remember
mine was, I was in Jos in Niger, and it was cold, and my dad just went out, and somehow, from the goodness of his heart,
very important.
He just decided to get me one. I was like, oh my god, I love you. That was all that was in my mind. And I turned it on, and guess what? Tetris was the first game.
Yes, they packaged it with the early ones, the Game Boy without color. Then
that's one.
Then I did play that one, and I played the Game Boy Color. Then with all them other Nintendo games, it was amazing. Then it was just like the peak of life.
Man.
It was just beautiful. Oof. You know. So like when he did sell like 8 kilobytes of RAM, I was like,
yeah, that line killed you the first time as well.
I was like, then they were like, wow, this is enough memory for everything that we need to do, you know. But you know, then he's also a programmer. He has to ask like, what language is this?
Is it Pascal?
And then he went on the keyboard and he just did his own programming for the Tetris, even though it was rusty and all of that, but he still made his point known, and it was like, if you want to sell a couple 100,000 of this game to kids, you know, package it with Super Mario, and then if you really want to sell it to the whole world, like old people as well, package it with Tetris. That was just like
mind blowing competence.
Great stuff. Still, the scene where Alexei, you know, the early Tetris with the parenthesis, beautiful.
It was, man.
Yeah, even when the both of them, 2 gigs, they were together in his room, and he was programming. He had to play the original one. Hank was playing the original game, and he started with his own ideas. You know, why don't you destroy more than just one block and more, and like
multiple lines, yeah.
That would have just been like a lot of fireworks going on in their brain, because to just be like ta 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 ta.
I'm sure it was probably the best night in Hank's life. So it's like imagine touching the source code of something. That's pretty much what it was. He like tapped into the essence of Tetris.
The beginning,
night. The very beginning.
It was just, he should have felt extremely amazed at that moment. Yeah. You know, that was really cool. That was a very good scene in my opinion. Yeah, there was this scene where I think where Hank Alexei took him on like nights out in the town, where he was like, you know, they had music playing and you know, beautiful some music. I was like, oh, like, you guys know this music, and he was like, good ideas have no borders. Yeah, so it was just beautiful to hear that. Honestly,
that was epic, man. The whole air guitar stuff and the cinematography in that whole scene, like the lights, the way everything was color graded. You would think
man, those guys that were coming to meet them, but they're actually going to
meet his family.
Yeah,
so some shit ass type thing. Russia's in Japan going to threaten his wife all the way in Japan. You know, that's crazy.
You know when he then made modifications to just more than one block going off, and then it was like, life is hard, we deserve our small celebrations.
Yeah,
peak content.
Peak, man. Freaking peak, man. I have my most rewatchable scene like in the entire movie was when Hank obtained rights and he went to his company and he was like, Minasan, watashi wa tachi wa okinashu pashita. And everybody was like, what? It turned out to be everyone were big failures now. That's like the most rewatchable scene for me.
That was actually hilarious.
It was.
And
I
his
took
wife
it
had
back.
to correct it too.
Yeah, whisper it. Yeah, and he actually wanted to say we're now big publishers.
But I think he hears.
Yeah, he
more than
understands. Yeah,
he understands more than speaks. Because when his daughter was just talking the other day, she just picked up the question, she was just talking. But like, I'm going to come for your daughter. You knew what she was saying.
Yeah,
but he just responded.
Japanese is hard, man. It's like there's one word for multiple things. It's just the intonation changes. So even when you hear him, when he corrected himself, it still started like, it sounded like the first sentence, just the way he said it. That's my most rewatchable scene. The air guitar scene too is part of my most rewatchable scenes. I pretty much have two. I don't think there were any heartbreaking scenes in this show.
I think what I felt was heartbreaking first, like when he did come home and he was like, he had lost everything.
Yeah.
And he just was trying to damage the telephone, and his wife walked in with his kid. That felt, really sad. Yeah, you don't want your kid to see you that way, And then his wife was like trying to come, like, the kid is here, like, and he did not even, he was like, did you listen to what I just said? He was extremely pissed.
That's someone that like you said, is ambitious, right?
Yeah.
He can't even recognize that he's wilding out at that point.
At that point, he feels what he's doing is just...
And I like the way his wife handled it. She's like, are you done?
But I felt he was more aware of what he was doing at that moment, and he knew he had to fix it. And that was why what he did with the, making some sort of home stage and then letting her do the whole performance again. I really like that fact that he did that. Yeah. And you could see that they kind of focused on his daughter a little bit more than they should have, because she's like the CEO of Tetris now, the company. So I don't know if that was the reason why, but like they could have done without all of that, but I felt maybe that was why.
Probably
anyways,
giving us shining some light on her.
Yeah.
Speaking about that, like an underdog of this movie, the second daughter, where is she? Like
that's what I'm saying. Like, it was just her,
not
because
the second one.
Yeah, because
don't even know her name.
So they just shone some sort of light on her, because I don't know if that's why. Because if you're doing the movie about Tetris, like, she's the CEO of Tetris, where she's gonna come in.
Yeah,
you just had to. Do that. What do you love about the movie?
I love the competence porn.
I think everybody would definitely understand what's going on, even if it's... Yeah, but you still have to figure out some certain things, though, honestly, with the whole political aspect of it.
Okay, let me see. I love the cinematography, first of all. I love the acting. Taron Egerton is freaking good. Just selling him, the scenes where he was selling himself, the scene where they took his Levi jeans, you could actually tell this dude was pissed. Thank you for
the Levi.
He was stomping, and he's like,
what's going on? Next scene, they showed him
stomping out with his boxers. I'm like, oh man. Yeah, he sold it. So the acting performances were epic. Even the dudes from Russia. Yeah, they sold the whole...
Sasha did it so well. Like, you wouldn't have even known she was even KGB.
Scam like this. Scam. Like, we didn't even suspect it at all, man. It came as a shock, the whole kissing scene and whatnot. I love the cinematography. The moment she did
that, I was like, this girl is not pure. Something is going on somewhere. Because that was not even called for whatsoever. He had not shown any form of affection like that to have for it to warrant that happening. I was like, something is fishy somewhere.
And why was she so close by? Like, when I saw her come down, I'm like, what is she doing here? That was
I was like, something is fishy somewhere. I was like, then they showed us
cinematography, the music. I love it. The acting performances are awesome. Yeah, the only thing I don't like is just the black and white nature of the show, but still, like I said, they kind of bled that out in that confrontation scene with Hank and his family. Yeah, what about you? What do you love about the movie?
In as much as I didn't want it to end.
Really? You didn't want
I just wanted it to continue.
Yeah?
It was just the right amount of time.
It was, bad.
It was the right amount of time, It felt like a race, and I loved it. It was like you're chasing something, and it was just piquing my interest every single turn.
Yeah.
It was right amount, like it was right amount of fast pace, and it goes much more deeper than just the story about the game, story about Tetris,
Yeah.
But it throws more light into what goes on what goes in, like, on the background, like on the scenes, behind the scenes, the amount of work that goes in just before you see the output and all of that. It was a lot of things going on to get the legal rights, the Russian politics, at that time. It felt so much. It was so much going on, but it was well arranged in a way that it didn't feel out of place in any way.
There was a purpose for that amount of chaos. Like, it's so good because you can see everybody is vested in their own interests. Really, Maxwell's are playing their own game. Andromeda is playing their own game. Hank is the only, like, dude that's trying. But then there's Alexei, the one guy that gains nothing from this.
That was just, it was so sad.
Yeah, it was.
Having your own creation turn out to be like, you know, the trophy of the entire race that everybody's running, and you have no say whatsoever in it. And I was so glad when he actually was able to do something about it, when he was able to send the fax to Hank.
Yeah.
Like I was really happy because he couldn't even get anything out of it.
He couldn't know.
And
I was at that first 10K. And I don't even know if he got that. No,
check. He didn't get anything. Yeah? Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't matter how much work you put in. Like, it's going straight to the government. Like, nobody, like, just do your work. No matter how much work you put in, it goes straight to the government. And that was really sad. And I was so glad that he eventually was able to come, you know, to the US and everything. Or was it the US he came to? Anyways, he went to meet Hank. And
or maybe it was Japan.
Yeah, I think he went to meet Hank. Anyways, I was really glad that he was able to leave that and then enjoy the fruit of his labor, because that was just genius.
Yeah,
you know, imagine something that actually turned the world in his head, and was there's no way you'd have that kind of thing and you should not enjoy anything out of it. Come on.
Fun fact: Tetris is actually the second most popular game ever made after Super Mario. Damn. So imagine like an alternate life where Alexei was just at home, and he every now and then before 2010, before Minecraft, before 2010, before 2010, 2012, when Minecraft came out and surpassed it as the best game in 2020. Imagine he was just at home in Russia after they took his home. He's in that terrible place. Yeah, he's just there watching the world go by while his game is setting everything on fire. Like, that'd have been sad. I'm really glad he was able to leave there. Yeah, and whatnot. Man,
I think we all deserve a happy ending, honestly.
Yeah,
we all deserve. You know, if you put in the work, you should actually enjoy it. Definitely. You should enjoy it.
Yeah. Definitely. Talking for capitals. Let's talk about some quotes. Most badass quotes.
You mentioned most of the quotes already.
I have a lot, man. I have a lot.
Go on.
Most badass quotes. Nintendo, it's a license to print money. That was a pretty good one for me. We've mentioned the king of cliffhangers. My most deep quotes was this coded in Pascal or C? Every time he asked that question, I was like, man, it's about to begin. Yeah. Competence.
It's about to take off the glove.
Yeah.
And do his thing.
So I was to get down to business.
Yeah.
Now, another deep quote, and I think this is probably the deepest quote in the entire movie. It's probably between these two. So I'll talk about the first one and the second one. Hank was like, I played Tetris for 5 minutes. Yeah. I played Tetris for 5 minutes. Yeah. I still see falling blocks in my dreams. Then he goes on to say it's poetry, art, and maths all working in magical synchronicity.
Beautiful.
Man, that shit hit me. It hit me like...
You know that is a thing where you focus your mind and your time on a particular thing for maybe a whole day. It doesn't have to be a whole day, a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And you go to bed and you start dreaming about it.
Yep.
You know, he said he just did it for 5 minutes and he just kept.
It's called the Tetris effect. For real?
When you find that amazing thing, it's just something else.
It's crazy, man. The Tetris effect, coined by Jeffrey Goldsmith in 1994. Yeah, I mean, that's
greatness.
Cool. Greatness, man. That quote, it hit me. And when you hear somebody talk so passionately about something like that, and you can see it extends to every part of the movie. The examples with Mario and Luigi, the examples with I need a mushroom and whatnot. It's the type of person he is. He's actually passionate about what he's talking about, man.
It's not easy to use references of certain things to pass your idea, and the other person listening would just get it right away, you know.
Yeah, it
needs two things to work. Someone that actually understands the world, you know, and someone that wants to pass that message around. So you can't just start talking about it to someone that does not understand what's going on. The person will just be there and be lost.
Be blank, he'll be like, sure. Like the banker, right? He was like, why are you telling me this, Hank? Exactly. He didn't get it. He's like, you lost money for your game to buy another game,
and now you have to come here for more money.
Oh, man.
But somehow he was able to pass the message on. come on, that's crazy stuff.
That's epic, man. And that quote, is like the deepest one for me. Then we also have the good ideas have no borders.
Yeah, I love that. So I just love that one because it's the truth. Like, you'll see something really amazing. Even if you're not the one that's, that's the author of that thing, you see it's just do the human thing possible. Kudos. Just give kudos. Like, when something's amazing, just acknowledge it. It's as simple as that. That's just what it is. Whatever idea, good ideas has no borders. It's going to meet you somehow and you're going to see it and you're just going to be like
our podcast is a good idea. It's going to meet you at home
somehow. It's going to meet everybody.
Definitely, man.
But so that's just pretty much what it is. It's a good idea.
This movie was entirely quotable. It was almost every single scene. My most annoying quotes, it's Mr. Maxwell. It's Mr. Maxwell to you, sir. And there's the other one. The General Secretary of Russia is my friend.
I've forgotten the guy's name. He just kept saying it. He was just bragging with it all the time. And when he even went to meet,
he was like, "My country is failing, Mr. Maxwell. Are you trying to save us?"
Like, when he went to meet him, he was just acting like, he
didn't even know him.
He didn't even know him. Like, was just like, yes. What have you done for me? Just kept on bragging with him.
He didn't know they were standing at the precipice of change, man. Like, all he was thinking about was money and giving them some encyclopedias.
Nonsense.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the notes I have for the movie.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover?
Oh, grand. Amazing movie. You should see it.
Definitely see the movie. We have a bunch of engagements on Instagram, which I am loving, by the way. Thank you to everyone who keeps engaging. We have a comment from Larry Diamond on our reel when we're talking about Extraction and the superhero conundrum. He said, "Call Mr. Green for the Extraction, G."
Who knows? You know Mr. Green?
No, who's that?
You don't know Mr. Green?
No, I don't know.
So is this guy that goes on, I think he has this like Instagram and YouTube channel where he picks moments of VFX and movies.
Oh, that dude. I know him, yeah.
And then he just picks moments where they just messed up. Just pick it out, just do some VFX series.
Do you think that shit is legit? Because he just
no, like most of them are not. I don't think most of them are legit.
He probably just drops something.
Some of them are just
finds his bodies in there. Like I knew it.
Bodies.
It's the way he's always like,
just goes like this with his glasses. Just put on his glasses and just
So Larry G, call Mr. Green for the Extraction, G. But shout out to the director on the one take short fight sequence. It was dope. I agree.
That was on the trailer, yeah?
In Extraction. No, in the trailer? Was that the one?
I don't know. There was one I saw where there were cars and
the riot scene.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That's epic. That was in the trailer. Then there was also one,
the John Wick.
The John Wick, yeah.
that was a good scene.
It was, man. There was one as well in Extraction 1. The whole in the building. It was like a one shot fight. Like, it was epic. Man, this keeps locking. Yeah. There's one in John Wick as well. So yeah, thanks Larry Diamond. We have another quote from Larry Diamond as well on our episode we did last week, Missing. He said if Apple needed a film for an ad, they should have just said so.
Yeah, there was so much Apple stuff on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the relation to it, but it might just have been making use of it. I think that wasn't a very terrible thing. It was for good.
I think there's a reason why you can't coordinate that entire movie the way they did without like doing it on Apple. So you can't do it with Windows. Yeah, you can.
Hey, shit.
It might be shade, but it's the truth. I mean, that whole Hey Siri scene would not have been possible without Apple, right? I mean, you can't be like, Hey Andy,
Cortana,
or you probably do
Alexa.
You probably do Alexa, but it's like, nah. So yeah, I guess that's why. We have another comment from Rare is beautiful. Creed 3 was actually my best. I think I'm more connected with the story here, and it's something we barely see. This was also more visually appealing, and the cinematography was amazing. Do you want to reply to this?
Yeah, I think I replied.
Yeah, we already have. Yeah,
I think I replied to. What did I ever say? I think I was like, it was good. The whole thing was good, but it was just in relation to the other parts of the movie. the earlier ones. It was just the relatability and all of that was what we're talking about. But it was a good one regardless. The fight scenes were good as well. Yeah, just some certain things that just picked out of it.
Yeah.
So
I agree with Rare is beautiful. I mean, like you say, Chris, cinema does different things to different people.
Yeah. So that's her opinion. Which is very valid.
I'm sure there are a lot of people that, because this Creed is actually the one that has done well the most compared to the first two, like box office wise, first week wise, everything. So yeah, I mean, there's something to it. People love it. My take is just it's vastly different from, and it probably just an emotional anchor in my head, like the familiarity and whatnot. But yeah, I love that. I mean, thanks for commenting. Rare is beautiful. That's it. We had for E for Ernie. I agree, it was still fire though. That was concerning the Creed 3. I agree as well. It was nice to watch. I mean, I didn't feel it was a waste of 1 hour 37 minutes at the end.
Yeah, it was exciting to watch regardless of how it made you feel, but it was a good one.
Yeah, his daughter was actually probably
the joy to watch.
Yeah, she was a joy to watch. She had so much personality. It was epic, yeah. That's all for today's episode on Povcorn. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed making it. If you do so, please do hit the subscribe button. You might also enjoy our weekly recap right here. And if you want to start a conversation, leave a comment here or follow us on Instagram at pov.com. That's at pov.corn. Yeah, on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Peace.
Peace.